You have to invest in yourself. You have to know, it comes back to knowing that you're valuable, knowing that you deserve to be treated properly.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes it happens naturally. Sometimes it's taught in home. Sometimes you learn it from your friends. But you do need to learn it somewhere in life to progress.
Welcome to another episode of Leaders in the Spotlight with me, Taiji Charity. This podcast is for C-suite leaders to discuss their experiences and provide insight, encouragement, and inspiration for seasoned and inspiring leaders, offering valuable solutions to today's challenges that will inspire, ignite, and invigorate new and seasoned leaders to walk in their God-given authority with compassion, kindness, and empathy. So sit back, relax, and be prepared to be inspired with today's episode of Leaders in the Spotlight. Thank you. Welcome to another episode of Leaders in the Spotlight, where we navigate the highs, lows, and unexpected plot twists of leadership. I'm Taiji Charity, your host. You are in for a treat today, y'all. Today, our guest is Nicole Bryant, the founding Chief Operating Officer of the City of Los Angeles Office of Civil Rights, leading impactful initiatives like the award-winning LA for All Anti-Hate campaign and the Just Say Hello campaign with the Port of Los Angeles. She oversees intellectual property in partnership with the City Attorney's Office and directs upward mobility programs such as LA Medical Day and LA Law Day, providing students access to professionals. A dedicated mentor, she runs an internship program for high school, college, and law students, reflecting her own journey starting as a student worker. Previously, Nicole advanced at the County of Los Angeles, serving as senior analyst to the CEO, focusing on eliminating racial inequalities and shaping policies for women and girls. Thank you, girl. She holds a master's degree in public administration and Juris Doctorate in entrepreneurship and technology law. In addition to her government work, Nicole is venturing into film production, with projects that educate and inspire. And she serves on the board of Oceans and Roads Film Foundation, promoting water safety and aquatic sports for underserved families. She's soon to be the board member of Kids in the Spotlight, y'all, but she just don't know it yet, okay? Welcome to the show, Nicole.
Thank you, Taiji. So happy to be here.
Yeah,
so
girl, I was butchering up that aquatics. I was like, wait, aquatic? Yeah, what is
Black Aquatics.
Yes,
Get us on the water.
I'm so excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank
Girl,
you.
when I read your bio, I was like, my friend is doing the thing.
Thank you.
How did you get started? Tell us about you, Nicole.
I just feel like I started just by showing up. Our first Black mayor of Los Angeles, Tom Bradley, would say availability is the best ability. So,
girl, you gonna have me drinking this whole, wait, say that one more time.
Availability is the best ability. So just showing up. When people invite me, like today, I show up. And so I think that's how I started. One of my friends, her mom, said, apply for these jobs. We applied, and I started my county career as a student worker as a teenager. And I always worked and went to school and just progressed and tried to move up. And I would see things that I felt, maybe needed to change. But as a student worker, as a teenager, no one is really listening. But I found if I had education, I got these different positions, then I would be closer to that.
Wow.
Being able to, make change that I wanted to see.
What in your upbringing or when in your upbringing did you realize that you had these leadership qualities? Did you always know that you would be working in public service? Tell us a little bit about you growing up and how you ended up in this landscape of work.
Yeah, I never thought that. There was nothing that made me think I would be a leader. I was always the youngest. My sister, my brother, 10 years older than me, 11 years older than me, all my cousins, or the majority of them. But because of that, I knew I admired them. I wanted to be like them. I wanted to do what they did. And when my sister had her two daughters, I said, oh, they want to do what I do. And so that just put inside of me where I knew I was an example. Yeah. So I didn't see myself necessarily as a leader, but I knew that people were watching, and I knew that they would do what I did. And now, after I went to law school as a second career. Both of my nieces are in law school now.
Wow.
So me seeing that at 11, 12 years old, it was true. So I'm glad that the Lord just gave me that vision to know that.
I love it. I mean, that is so powerful to know that we're all role models in our role in some sense. Somebody is always watching.
Right.
Right? Somebody. So did any of your siblings or cousins go to law school?
No, I'm the first in my family to go to law school. But and then like you mentioned with the internship program, we have policy fellows. So many, I think I've written, I don't know, 20 to 30 letters of recommendation. So we're cranking out lawyers with LA Law Day. So many people are going to law school, and Black people are only 5% of attorneys.
Wow.
African Americans only 5%. So imagine women around 2%.
Wow.
So to be cranking out so many lawyers is a big deal.
Wow. Did you enjoy school? Were you always a good student?
I was a good student. School came easy to me. I don't love school though, but it was something that I knew I was good at. So, and I knew I needed to be able to take care of myself and that sort of thing. So that's what I did.
Wow. But what made you want to go to law school? Since there was no one else in your family that had gone to law school, like what kind of sparked that interest in you? Because my little one also wants to be a lawyer and then a judge. I'm like, go ahead, judge. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Do your thing. But what sparked that in you?
So I would say working with business owners when they want a contract, you have all these extensive documents, and they didn't feel like reading them. That I didn't mind doing it.
That's me right there, girl.
I didn't mind doing it, and I was like, okay, well, I can do this for people, and I don't mind. I should be compensated for it.
Yeah.
And also really working my way up through the county, like I said, starting as a student worker and getting to the CEO's office. I felt now I'm in the room, I'm at the table, but I'm still not really being heard. I was in my late 20s or that kind of thing, and it's like, people aren't listening really. And so I'm like, who do they listen to? They listen to the attorneys. They listen to the people in upper management. So I just wanted to make sure that I would be able to do that because I felt like I have the ideas. You're going to have to do the work. So you might as well be compensated. You might as well have the title and get that respect.
You started where you have to do the work. So you realized where the gap was for you. So you went back and got a law degree and then came back and say, y'all better listen.
Yeah, and I never left. Always worked and went to school. I had a master's degree. And like I said, that got me in the room. Yeah. But I still felt like I wasn't being heard.
Yeah. So what is it that you enjoy most about your position? I mean, because Los Angeles is one of the largest cities in America. How do you just navigate the complexities of Los Angeles County and all the things?
I think it's all about relationships, networking, getting to know different people, getting out there, showing up, like I said, showing up and always making sure that your reputation precedes you. Because even though Los Angeles is large, someone will know my name before they know me, especially in the Zoom land of 2020s. People don't always recognize it. And I'm like, oh, I'm Nicole. And they're like, oh, they don't know. Yeah. So I think it's important to have a reputation, to be competent, to be credible, to be authentic. And I think that is what takes you far in leadership.
Yeah, and I'm sure dealing with so many different personalities.
Oh yeah.
With in the role that you are in, how do you navigate just the different personalities, like managing your team, creating the culture within the department that you lead? How do you navigate that?
I think just leaning into different people's strengths and recognizing like everybody's not good at the same thing, but what are you really good at? And let me try to fill in the gaps where I can. So always learning, taking classes, supporting in different ways. Some people may be really good with the personal interpersonal interactions, and then they may be not so well with their writing skills or something, but just utilizing people's strengths. I think that is what makes people feel comfortable. They know that they're still valuable. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to try and you have to kind of lean into what you're good at. So that's what I try to do with everyone that I work with, everyone on my team. And to answer your other question, I feel like my favorite part of my job is the mentorship, just grooming the next generation of leaders. So, and now grooming, people say in a negative connotation, but you have to lift as you climb, because I'm still going, right?
I like that.
I'm still going. I'm still trying to progress, but I need to bring some folks with me.
Wow. So now you have an interest in film. Where did that shift come, or when did that shift come?
Again, it's showing up. One of my mentors invited me to the California Black Women Empowerment there's a new institute led by Kelly Todd Griffin. And I was in the first cohort, and I went to an event, and I was sitting next to someone from CBS, and she said, you know, I want you to be involved in this. And then another opportunity came about, and they said there are 2 separate films. And so I said yes.
Wow.
And really because I went to Southwestern Law School, and it's an entertainment law school. So that I'm like, okay.
Tying those, bridging the gap between those 2 worlds. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's why I took the cyber law classes and technology law and entertainment. It leads me to intellectual property. That's, you know, the films is somebody taking your literary artwork and utilizing it, not compensating you and that sort of thing.
Right.
So it was...
Girl, I love that you like compensate me. Like you have dropped that a couple times. Like, don't play. You know your value, you know your worth, and it's like compensation is very important.
It's true, because for so many years people steal the works of people of color, and they are erased from history, and you don't know.
Yeah, they're trying that more now than ever before, huh?
Right? And so that's why we have to do what we can to protect ourselves.
Yeah. No, that's great. We need intellectual property attorneys to make sure we are crossing all of our T's and dotting all of our I's. And it's a lot, because the fine lines sometimes, the fine print are the things that we miss often, right?
And those are the things that make the difference.
And those are the things that actually makes a difference. Well, I've already thrown it out there about this board of directors thing. You know, I'll be dropping little hints. I'm like, yeah, future board member of Kids in the Spotlight.
Yes.
Hint. But so tell me, what you mentioned mentors. Who are your mentors, and how did you identify individuals to be your mentor?
I would say, of course, it starts in the home. So my father, my mother, my older sister, my brother, I would say them first. And then when I entered the workforce, it happened organically. I think that, you know, you can seek mentors, but I don't know if that works as much versus people seeing something in you and wanting to help out, wanting to give back. And that happened at every stage of my career, and I still have amazing relationships. So you have the unsung heroes. So I can list so many people at every stage. When I was a student worker, when I was a clerk, when I was in law school, there are so many people who help out that I just know that I've been truly blessed and have so much favor because people have seen things in me and been willing to do it. But I also believe it comes from being the youngest. One of the most important traits I think folks should try to, if it's not natural, try to develop is having a teachable spirit. So when you...
Girl, hold on, let me drink to that. Okay.
And when you have someone who is trying to share some information, that you are receptive. Because a lot of people don't. You know, people come to them and they may try to give advice, constructive criticism, and people reject it. But if you take a moment and pause and think, why is this person saying it? Can it be valuable to me? Can it help me in my career or in my life? And accept it and try to roll with that and be a little flexible.
I mean, that's amazing, because sometimes I hear the flip side of that, people in a space and feeling like they're not getting the support they need, or people not seeing the value of what they bring to the table. What recommendation would you have for somebody who feel like, I'm showing up, I'm doing the work, I'm committed to the work, but the people around me are not seeing the value that I bring to the table?
I think that's time when it may be time to shift and be in the room, go where
with people who appreciate
are celebrated, right? Where they appreciate it, they see your value. I wouldn't stay somewhere where people don't like me, they don't appreciate me. That has to be miserable. And to me, you can't perform at your highest if you're miserable, if you don't have the confidence, if you're not prepared. All of those things lead to success when you have them. But when you don't have them, you're going to be sad. You're going home frustrated. You may start picking up bad habits. So I think it's best to get out of the rooms if people don't appreciate you, because you know you are valuable. But you have to feel that. And if other people don't accept it, go where they do value.
That is so good. I'm actually reading this book from an author called Nona Jones, and it's called The Gift of Rejection. And that's one of the things she talked about in the book as well, with making sure you're in the spaces where people do see and value and appreciate what you bring to the table.
So true.
And when you're at a table where you feel like you're not appreciated, then it's time to maybe make that pivot, that shift, right? So that's excellent advice, because some people and people don't always know how to shift.
It's true, but you have to invest in yourself. You have to know. It comes back to knowing that you're valuable, knowing that you deserve to be treated properly.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes it happens naturally. Sometimes it's taught in home. Sometimes you learn it from your friends. But you do need to learn it somewhere in life to progress.
Yeah. That's, I think, one of the things we try to instill in the youth that are in our program at Kids in the Spotlight, because a lot of the youth are system impacted youth. So you automatically feeling like you're operating from a default, or deficit because, just being in foster care in and of itself, you feel like, why me? Why is this? Nobody wanted me. Why? The why? And trying to weed through that to see the jewels and the gift and the talent that's on the inside of these young people and getting them to lean into that versus leaning into just what I've been through and using what I've been through to elevate to the next level of where you're going.
And because that gives you an extra, something extra that other people don't have, that extra tenacity that some people don't have, that little grit that makes people successful.
Exactly, because I know what resilience is when the next person might not know the level of resilience that I know.
And when you get into the workworce and you get into those difficult situations, you know how to overcome them because you've been through things early on. It's not going to knock you over and, you're going to be able to keep going.
Right. Girl, that little comment shot, please. I done been through some stuff. I ain't got time for that,
No, it's
so it does. It equips you on a different level.
Yeah, and you have different people skills. You know how to get along with different people because you're not just used to being in a bubble. So you just have to, it's the perspective. It's about being optimistic, about seeing the best in what's going on.
Right. So what like the program that you lead, the mentorship program, how do young people find out about the program that you're involved in?
Go to laisforeveryone.com and look at policy fellows and internships. So right under Get Involved, it's right there on the website. The applications come directly to me. I do have staff who oversee them. And then we do interviews and we onboard.
What's the age range?
I've done maybe like 10th grade as the youngest.
Okay.
But up until I started actually in this position as a volunteer. Okay. So when we were starting, I was in law school and I was looking for a mentor, and my current executive director, Capri Maddox, she worked in the city attorney's office, and she said she would be my mentor. And I said, well, I know how to start a department. That's what I do in the CEO's office. Right. And so we kind of bartered, and that's what we did. I would work from 7 to 5, go to law school from 6 to 9, and 9:30 at night, we would start building the civil rights department. So just helping out, showing up, helping out. And, so sometimes you aren't always compensated, but you get, not monetary. It's not financial compensation, but you get so many skills. Yeah, you get so many skills and knowledge and grow your network. So you can't think that compensation is only money. Right. Because a lot of people don't like to volunteer. A lot of people don't want to give the little extra time, or a lot of time sometimes. But I've had volunteers and interns with me since 2020 when I was so that's what this department has been building upon. There's a lady who worked for the city. She just retired, Olivia Mitchell, after 50 years. And so she connected us with UCLA. That's how we started the program. But we accept students from all schools, community colleges, high schools, out of state. Some of my interns are in New York. And so, that's great. And so do you place them in various positions, or is it just mentorship right now? Oh, no, they do the work. They do the work.
Well, tell me the mission. Tell me the mission of the organization.
So our mission is to increase the diversity, accountability, and equity within the city of Los Angeles and to level the playing field. So we really want to get folks exposed. So we have like the Office of Race and Equity. We have civil rights enforcement, where folks come in and they face, discrimination at a store, and they can call us and receive services because we have a team of investigators who can investigate, where versus you might call the state and the whole line is a little bit longer, but you call us because we're a new department and someone picks up, someone responds right away.
That's amazing.
So it's amazing, and it a lot of people don't know about it because we are new, but we are continuing to try to advertise.
We're spreading the word.
Yes, call us. And so laisforeveryone.com, you can file a complaint. Same thing about the internship, learn about the Office of Race and Equity. We have reparations. We have a transgender advisory council. We have so many different things going on. Commission on the Status of Women, where people can come and get some of the service they need. And like you mentioned, LA is for everyone. feel included, feel that even though Los Angeles is large, that with our other campaign, Just Say Hello, that people see you, they hear you, and you're respected even in a city as large as Los Angeles.
That's good to know, because there's times then people need certain things and don't know that the resources are there. And this is definitely a resource that so many people can take advantage of.
For sure.
So that's amazing. And it started how long ago?
In 2020, we started.
2020, during COVID.
And that's why we were supposed to start after, but it was not only COVID, it was George Floyd, it was the anti-Asian hate. It was so many things that we had to rep up immediately. We didn't have time to plan things out. We always say we're building the plane as we are flying it because we just had to get going because so much was happening in 2020. But I think that's how we accomplished so much because you are able to go to back-to-back meetings and be virtually and all across Los Angeles and across the country as well.
So how do you think this is all going to play out in the current political climate that we're in right now? Your services are probably going to be needed 10 times more than it did in 2020 when you first started. What are your thoughts around just where we are as a nation?
I think it's a tough time, and I think it's a time to be resilient. I think it's a time to lean into the things that we've learned and to show up, like don't back down at this point. So I don't really know what's going to happen in Los Angeles or in the state or in the nation or the world, but it is a tough time, and I just think this is a time to be resilient and be smart, pay attention, watch the news, see what's going on. Don't let life happen.
Did you say watch the news? It's so hard to watch the news.
But you need to know what's happening.
Yeah, you know,
like even if you get your news from no, it's not because and pay attention to history because it repeats itself. So I think this is a time where people really, really need to pay attention to what's going on. Not just, aimlessly scrolling. Make sure you have some news in there too to see like, oh, that happened this week, or find out what a tariff is.
And, right, that part. And then knowing just what source to rely on, because there's so much now out there. We're inundated with different perspectives of what's happening in our world around us. So what do you think in terms of just the city of LA with all the wildfires and everything that took place here? Do you get to work closely with Mayor Karen Bass?
I do. Sometimes we love Mayor Bass.
We love you. She was at our ribbon cutting. Okay?
Yes, I saw the picture. Yes. Beautiful. And we work under Mayor Bass. My supervisor, executive director, she is an appointee of Mayor Bass. And we activate our staff. We have staff out at the disaster centers, at the help centers, and so we're there to help. We, people are willing to pivot. It's like, okay, I might do legislation, but I'm out here helping people sign up. Yeah, for insurance, make sure they can get what they need. So we're in 100% behind Mayor Bass.
I love it. I love it. Boots on the ground.
Always.
Girl, we just did a boots on the ground video with my team members.
I saw that. Did you see it?
Oh, Lord. Girl, just a little fun. Just trying to have a little fun. But also reminding people that nonprofits and all of us, we are service providers with our boots on the ground doing the work. And the work, it really does take a village. It takes people with a heart for people. Like
people who care.
People who care, exactly, to roll up your sleeves and fight for other people, fight for humanity.
And it could be fighting for yourself because it's that person today, but it could be you tomorrow.
It could be you.
So that's important.
But for the grace of God, Lord. All right, we're not going to do church. You about to take me down? All right, so tell me about your leaders that you admire, like any of your favorite leaders who you just kind of like, that's my jam right there. That's my girl, that's my guy. Their leadership quality, their leadership skills always sort of spark something on the inside of you and makes you want to lead better.
Yeah, I always think of the people who were the first. I always admire all the people who were first. Like, of course, Martin Luther King was not first, but being in civil rights, we love Martin Luther King about all the things that he stood for and he gave his life for. Then we have people like, I like Serena. I'm from Compton. She's from Compton. So I love, I love that representation. Before her, Arthur Ashe. And, some of the things that he talked about being prepared and self-confidence. If you look up the quote from Arthur Ashe, it's really important. Those are things that imagine what they went through to get to be where they are. So I always admire those kind of people. And then I have so many unsung heroes in my own personal life who just, you may not know their name, but they make a huge impact on day to day.
Shout them out real quickly.
Okay,
Let's give them their flowers right now.
So like I mentioned, one of my mentors, Dr. Sharani Little, she's amazing. I mentioned Kelly Todd Griffin, Lita Richardson. There are so many women, Yolanda Mosley, Ruth Bayham, so many women who made a huge impact on my life. Renita Bolin. One thing about Renita, she just had the pleasure of retiring from the County of Los Angeles.
Ooh, God bless you, girl.
I know.
Enjoy your life.
And she, I remember when, after I got my master's degree, I had a really difficult time promoting up. And Renita worked in the CEO's office, and it was her and another woman in the interview. And the lady was like, oh, she can't do this because she works in mental health. And Renita was like, she has transferable skills.
Ooh.
And if she wouldn't have done that, I don't know. Spoke up for me. I don't know if I would have even went to law school, because I was in a different environment. Everybody was physicians and social workers and that sort of thing. So having a champion, having someone who can see the full view, leading from the balcony is really important. And so sometimes people are, they say, are you on the dance floor, you bumping, you in the, you on the ground, but can you see the full picture? And I think Renita Bolin was one of those people.
God bless you, Renita. We need more people like you.
Yes.
Absolutely. Somebody to be a champion for you, and also a sponsor. Speak your name when you're not even in the room.
Yes.
Tell somebody else about what we're doing, even if I'm not there.
Right.
So that's good. I love that. Absolutely love that. Before we go, I want to ask you this last question. How big is your team, first of all?
So right now, for the entire department, we have about 30 people.
Okay.
And then for me, over the years, I've mentored, through the mentorship, over 20 people. And right now we're shrinking. So I think on my team, I have about 8 people. But we have 30 people in the department.
Okay. How would they describe you?
I think they would say that I'm authentic.
Okay.
And that I'm dependable. And that I am competent. They know that whatever is happening, I'm going to get them to the finish line. If they have a question, we're going to figure it out together. I'm going to be there to support them for whatever they need.
Now that's a leader we can follow. One that say they're going to get you to the finish line.
We're going to get
to the finish line. I love that.
At least move the needle.
We're going to move.
Because sometimes you can't change everything, especially in civil rights. Right. But you definitely can move the needle and make a difference in at least one person's life.
Absolutely. This has just been so rich. They gave me my little warning sign. I hate the little 5 minutes left sign. It just annoys me, but I understand it's necessary, because I can go on and on and on having these amazing conversations with people like you, Nicole. I know I said that was the last question, but there's always one other question. One more question. What would you like to share with our audience, especially young people in particular, who may not know what the next step is, may not see that leadership quality in themselves, or may have a heart for politics but just don't know how to get started? What advice? I know we talked about showing up, but sometimes it's like, show up where? Where do we go? What advice would you give them? I
would say for me, I was exactly the same. I never saw myself as a leader, like I said. I had the skills. That's why I would consider myself an emergent leader, where you're not elected, you're not appointed, but you emerge because of your ability and your skill. And so I think that they can look on websites, like go to your favorite nonprofit, talk to people, go to
kidsinthespotlight.org. Just saying, go ahead.
Yeah, go to those events when people have events. And I say, because sometimes people are shy, they may not feel comfortable. Talk to at least 2 people. That's what I always tell my interns. If we go to an event, there are a lot of elected officials, they may feel intimidated. Pick 2 people. You can do 2 people. Like, hi, this is my name.
That's good.
This is where I'm from. I'm just want to know a little bit about you. Ask for an informational interview, because people love to talk about themselves. So you don't have to really tell anything about yourself. You can just
inquire about them.
I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm confused. Do you have any advice? I want to get into politics, but I don't know where. But people love to help. People love to give back. But I think, and once you make that connection, try to reach out. Don't just call when you need something, but call and say, happy birthday, or, you know, I am going to this, or I got this good grade, or I created my film, I want you to watch it, can you come out and support? Ask and try to create that relationship, because you can't have a mentor if you don't have a relationship. It's not just like, oh, this person's gonna create some position for you and they don't even know you. So you have to make sure you foster the relationships once you are in the room.
So you have to first be willing to put yourself out there, be vulnerable enough to start a conversation, and then you have to be bold enough and resilient enough and engaged enough to build that relationship.
And some people will build with you, but just be receptive. If someone texts you, respond to the text. You know, just be respectful, and just try to show up for yourself and for the other person. Show, you know, make it mutually beneficial.
And make it authentic, like you said.
Yeah, make it authentic, and it needs to be mutually beneficial. I feel like with my interns, I'm willing to pour more into the ones who want to give.
Who are ready.
Who are ready and who want to help. Not like, oh, I'm just here to learn. It's like, but can you do my social media? Can you do some research? What can you do? Because I'm going to give to you. You're going to get a benefit from being here, but you have to be willing to give as well.
That's good. I'm always talking to my team about just communication, like not taking anything for granted, like just having the conversation is so important, because we come with all sorts of assumptions. We come with prior experience where I know that they responded this way to something, so I just assume that's how they're going to respond again. Like, you got to be willing to have conversation and got to be willing to just have effective communication. And I don't think we all know how to do that, because I had to learn that.
And we all learn. Nobody's perfect. We all are growing and learning. That goes back to having a teachable spirit. Be willing to listen, and okay, I wasn't good at this, but now I'm going to try it a different way next time. Read a book, get a tutor. There's so many, watch YouTube. You don't have to pay for anything.
Girl, YouTube University is real, right?
Yes.
And then print yourself a degree, your own little piece of... Because you can be on YouTube all day just learning just a plethora of things. This has been so good, Nicole.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for saying yes and for coming and for sharing so many powerful nuggets that I think we could all use on our leadership journey. This has been great. Is there anything else you want to share?
No.
Any upcoming events? Anything the county is doing that we need to know about?
We are doing LA Medical Day, April 19th. I don't know when this is going to air, but April 19th is virtual. We want as many students to come in. Maybe you don't think you want to be in the medical field or want to be a doctor, but LA Medical Day, we're going to be out on Zoom, physicians and mental health professionals giving you the inside scoop. So join us.
So if this, because I'm not sure when this one will air, if it airs at the April 19th, will they be able to go back and watch?
Oh yeah, it'll be on YouTube again. Go to YouTube.
You see that YouTube?
It'll be there. And our law day, if you're interested in law, we have judges, we have attorneys from Netflix, and all kind of successful professionals who gave their Saturday to give back to the next generation of leaders. So look on our YouTube, LA Civil Rights, and there's plenty to learn.
And that's the name of the channel, LA Civil Rights?
I believe so.
Oh, she said, we'll make sure we get the channel. And we'll tag the channel in our
on
post.
social media, we're LA Civil Rights on most platforms. But you'll find it. Put in LA Law Day, Civil Rights, it'll pop right up.
Awesome. Again, thank you so much, Nicole. This has been so rich, so fulfilling, so informative. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, that's our show for today. I hope that you have heard something that will help you, again, on your leadership journey. And remember to do those 3 magical words. Help somebody else out by liking, sharing, and commenting on the post. Engage with us. Tag a leader, tag an emerging leader, tag a young person. We're just here to inspire. So Nicole Bryant was in the spotlight today, our leader in the spotlight. So again, please like, share, comment, all the good things. Until next time, enjoy your leadership journey. Bye now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for today. I hope you were inspired and you gained some valuable nuggets that will help you to become a better leader and to walk in your God-given authority. Bye until next time.